And them. And these are things that we live by throughout our entire lives. And that is, you do not ever leave a man behind on the battlefield. You do not ever turn tail and run in the face of danger. You do not ever leave a fallen comrade to fall into the hands of the enemy. And you drive on towards the objective, even if you're the last man standing. This is desertion that was done. This is dereliction of duty that was done. Okay? And that is my opinion, and I believe that's reinforced by most of the people here.
Can
so
we
the
vote
notion
on that we believe that then?
Let's put that up to a quick vote. Is that agreed? This was desertion?
Yes.
Okay.
But some of the people that left didn't even know why they were going there.
The other issue that we have in line with that is they obeyed a command that was outside of the command structure that they had volunteered to fall under, which means they don't owe their allegiance to the objectives here, because those objectives create the platform that the leadership revolves around. And if they come here to volunteer to fall under that platform and those objectives, then they volunteer to fall under that leadership. And if they obey outside leadership, that's called being a traitor. Agreed?
Agreed.
Okay, so that's it.
That will never happen again.
I know.
It will never happen again.
I know. Because we've taken a vote and they're done. Now, I also want to bring up, this is a new issue. Okay, is that resolved? Everybody feel that's resolved? Okay, good.
Yes.
This is a new issue. Buddha, myself, and Jerry have been asked by a Stewart Rhodes lovemaking crew that came on to me very strongly last night, and I had, well, anyway, there's women here, so I'm not going to go into it. I was, yeah, you guys. At any rate, what they have asked is to set up a meeting.
It's trying to be set up.
They're trying to set up a meeting between the three of us and Mr. Rhodes. I have agreed under the direction of Buddha that he would agree to a meeting. Jerry, do you agree to a meeting?
If you guys are in favor, I want an apology, and I want to know why he did what he did, so I don't keep blasting him on Facebook until I know that he agrees.
Where's the trust factor?
But be clear.
There is a trust factor.
Be clear.
To be the better gentleman that we are,
right.
It's appropriate to sit down and listen.
We are open to gentlemanly conversation. But this man and the people that obeyed that order have violated my personal creed.
Absolutely.
You don't fucking walk in and say, I'm sorry, and you're back in, brother. You can walk in and say you're sorry, and you're lucky that you're not getting shot in the back. Yeah. Because that's what happens to deserters on the battlefield.
Yeah. Amen, brother.
Amen.
If upon your all's agreement to go to that, prior to that, are we able to get with each of the groups, mainly our group, over there at the militia camp, on what equipment vanished with them, so that during that meeting that can be presented?
I agree that that's something that might be brought up, but in my world, that's the least of my fucking worries. I want to know why you fucking burned out of here.
My worries would be not coming over the table at that
point. I got boys out here that have been fucking sleeping in the dirt, putting in 12, 13 hours. None of us get a chance to go to the hotel and fucking rest up and steak dinners and go to the casino and hang the fuck out.
And I understand that.
That being said, I got to excuse myself in this meeting because, as you can see, I got a wild cowboy running around here and tractors and shit. I got to figure out what the fuck's going on.
So if you want to put
address to me, please relay it to one of these two guys.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it up right after you're done.
I left in a hurry yesterday morning because I had canceled the Republican meeting from last week, and so people could be here. And it was rescheduled for yesterday. And Stewart Rhodes decided he was going to go to my office while I was here, standing my ground after a supposed drone strike, and change his propaganda out there. It came with a video guy, a photographer, and that little sheriff guy from Kentucky.
I've heard 3 different reasons as to why they left. From him.
One of our women had a man that was in your camp, Mr. Lass, and she asked him straight out after he propped up what the keepers have been doing here, why did you leave? Right. And he said, oh, well, contrary to public opinion, we didn't leave. We moved out of the kill zone for another location. And I said, you cut and run for a hotel, Stewart.
That's what this meeting is.
He refused to look me in the eye. I eventually kicked him out of the building.
Okay, so I want to put up
with my hand.
Very quickly.
It's a part of what she stated. It is, from my understanding, from an oath keeper who came here as an independent and stayed here as an independent, was looking at the Oath Keeper website, and I have not seen this with my own eyes, but he was looking at it at that time period on his phone, that they are posting that the Oath Keepers did not leave, and they do still have representation here on the ground.
Okay, so that I'm going to bring this full circle so we can vote on something, right? We can reiterate a vote. That is, first, there is very good evidence to show that the Oath Keepers came here with an intention in mind, and that was not to support the objectives, it was to co-opt this entire thing and build membership at the very least.
Absolutely.
Okay? The second one is that, and at the very worst, it was provocateurism, deliberately sent here from the other side to drive a wedge into our cohesion, which would mean that they work for the other side, and they're really a bunch of motherfuckers.
Which seems to have been the case.
Okay, so that is only one avenue. The second thing is they committed a deliberate act of desertion. Okay, that's number 2. We've agreed on that. And number 3 is that 2 days ago, we took a vote that Stewart Rhodes, anybody in Oath Keepers leadership, specifically answering to Stewart Rhodes, and anybody who took part in the desertion the other day, is not allowed back in this camp, in our camps. They're not allowed back on this ranch. They're to stay the hell out of here under fear of fist fire. Right?
Now, and agreeing on that, before I agree to that, that those that left knowing what was going on, those who left found out what was going on and stayed gone.
Ignorance is not an excuse.
And at this point, you can't trust any of them because we don't know.
If somebody in charge of me came up to me and said, "We're fucking out of here. There's a drone strike coming."
There were people that were uptown that were Oath Keepers already that all of a sudden walked into that group. What the hell? Found out what was going on and said no. And came in.
And they came. Okay, that's fine.
And then that's what I want to make sure that it is
put
clear.
themselves in the line.
And that doesn't fall into the criteria which he spoke of.
Right.
When I called you, I thought you were out there. I thought this, I went, but I didn't know why I was going out. I thought they were moving the party or whatever out there. I would never fucking leave these guys, not one of them.
Understood. And
I will die with
Jerry
them.
didn't know what the hell was going on because I was with him.
Yeah.
Well, the excuse of moving out of the kill zone is ridiculous because this whole damn thing's a kill zone since we got here. We knew that when you showed up.
Children had more balls than these motherfuckers. Yes.
My question is this. What we're talking about is Stewart Rhodes and individuals, not anybody who flies an Oath Keepers banner. Is that correct?
Exactly.
It's
individuals.
In the press release today.
Okay.
In fact, maybe I'll craft 2 different press releases under your guys' authority.
That's fine.
One addressing the Oath Keepers issue, and one addressing the call for support and logistical and manpower.
Okay.
One thing I just want to throw out there is I was talked to by some of the Oath Keepers that made contact with me yesterday. I think they're going to have a coup. That's what's brewing with those guys in there. I think they're going to toss Stewart Rhodes because their whole thing is falling apart over this, and they're scrambling to put it together. And I mean, all across the country, they're having major problems because of this. Because the people who signed up for Oath Keepers, they signed up for cowardice.
Right.
And so I think that I told them I said the best thing they could do is remove him and put somebody else in and make a statement of why they did that and what it was, and then move on if they want to save the Oath Keepers. If they don't, and they want to go down with it, then that'll be their choice. But I think they're losing people like crazy. I mean, big people in the organization.
So that everybody has a something to go on from having dealt with these types of issues before. My synopsis is that, especially in light of gentlemen like that Justin guy that came here, that this was deliberate provocateurism. Okay, and that means that Stewart Rhodes is either unaware of what's going on in his leadership, or he sanctioned it.
Absolutely.
And this type of treason is of the highest order. That means that he works for the enemy, and that he deliberately came here to drive a wedge in the unity that's been created here. I'm not saying I know that for a fact, but it definitely, in my experience, shows itself to be true. Okay, so you heard the 3 points. I want to take a vote and make sure we all agree on those 3. The final point being that they are not allowed to participate in this operation anymore. And if they come anywhere around here, they will be escorted away from here. Okay?
Agreed.
Agreed. Unanimous consent. Okay. Is there any other... We know Calmo's number 1 today. Do we have any more classes
if
today?
we have them to come give us a hand?
Do we have any other classes planned for today?
No. Not that I know of. No.
No,
We'll check. If we do, we'll put a run around and let you know. First, we're going to get the combos out.
I'd like to come down
Freak
after
class.
I craft those 2 press releases and get with your Harbinger.
Yep.
And then maybe him and I probably can put together some really good training skills. A daily training schedule.
I need to know from Pluto whether we're going to do that all day.
Well, but I know they did have some people coming in. So, okay, issues of vast importance.
You might want to do you might want to do a frequency class for the people who don't understand how to change the
That's what I
comm
was
and the
about to
radio.
request.